The stars twinkled like diamonds against the dark canvas of space as the human diplomatic vessel approached the massive alien mothership of the Zarthian Empire. The small human ship looked like a toy next to the enormous purple structure that housed the ruling family of the most powerful alien civilization humans had ever encountered. On board the human ship stood Olivia Morgan, the newly appointed ambassador to the Zarthian Empire. She adjusted her formal diplomatic uniform and took a deep breath to steady her nerves. This meeting would determine if humans would be seen as equals or as prey in the galactic community. The Zarthians were known for their strength, intelligence, and ruthless expansion. They stood over 8 feet tall, with purple skin, reflective silver eyes, and bony crests on their heads. They considered most other species as lesser beings fit only for servitude or conquest. Captain. Laura Bell approached Olivia on the bridge, her face serious. "We are receiving docking instructions from the Zarthian command. The translator is working, but their tone seems hostile." Olivia nodded. "Thank you, Captain. Just remember, no sudden movements, no weapons, and let me do all the talking. The fate of Earth depends on this." Meeting Laura looked out at the massive alien ship through the view screen. "This is the closest any human has ever gotten to their royal vessel. What do you think they want from us? They want to determine if we are worth conquering or if we can offer something valuable as allies," Olivia said. "Simply put, they want to know if humans are special or just another species to add to their collection." The human ship docked with careful precision inside the alien hangar bay. The massive space could have held 20 ships the size of theirs. Olivia stood at the airlock preparing to be the first human to officially meet the Zarthian royal family. Her team of 5 diplomats stood behind her, all looking nervous but determined. "Remember our briefing," Olivia told them. "The Zarthians respect strength but not aggression. Show no fear but also no threat. Be firm but respectful." The airlock hissed open, revealing a delegation of tall purple aliens waiting on the other side. Their armor gleamed under the bright lights of the hangar, and each carried what appeared to be ceremonial spears. Their silver eyes studied the humans with predatory interest. Olivia stepped forward with confidence. "We come as representatives of Earth and the United Human Alliance. We seek peaceful dialogue and mutual understanding." The largest Zarthian, a male with elaborate armor, stepped forward. "Your kind are new to the stars, yet you speak as if you belong here. Interesting. Most species beg for mercy at their first meeting with us. We prefer dialogue over begging," Olivia replied, meeting his gaze directly. "We have much to learn but also much to offer." The Zarthian made a sound that might have been a laugh. "Very well, follow me. The royal family awaits. The Emperor himself wishes to see these humans who have advanced so quickly." The human delegation followed their escort through massive corridors filled with technology beyond human understanding. The walls seemed to shift and move with flowing patterns of light. The air felt strangely thick and smelled of something like cinnamon and metal. Other alien species moved through the corridors, most giving the Zarthians a wide berth and casting curious glances at the humans. They passed chambers filled with artifacts from what appeared to be dozens of different worlds. Olivia recognized this as a display of conquest, a museum of defeated civilizations. The message was clear. The Zarthians wanted them to know their power. After walking for what seemed like miles, they reached an enormous set of doors carved with scenes of battle and victory. 2 guards standing at least 9 feet tall pushed the doors open. Inside was the royal throne room, a vast chamber with a ceiling so high it disappeared into darkness. The floor was made of a material that looked like marble but seemed to glow from within. Hundreds of Zarthians lined the walls, all wearing elaborate armor or robes indicating their high status. At the far end on a raised platform sat 3 thrones. The largest in the center held Emperor Zarth, a massive male Zarthian with battle scars covering his purple skin. To his right sat what appeared to be his mate, the Empress with elegant head crests adorned with jewels. To his left sat a younger, female Zarthian Princess Vexora, heir to the Zarthian throne. Olivia walked forward with measured steps, stopping at the exact distance that protocol demanded, according to their briefings. She bowed her head slightly, a show of respect, but not submission. The Emperor studied her with cold silver eyes. "So these are humans." He rumbled, his voice so deep Olivia could feel it in her chest. You are smaller than I expected, yet we have achieved faster than light travel in less than 200 years of industrial development, Olivia replied. And we have come seeking friendship, not conflict. The Emperor leaned forward, his massive frame dwarfing the throne beneath him. Friendship is earned, not given, little human. The galaxy is not a kind place, it belongs to the strong. We believe true strength comes in many forms, Olivia said. We have survived on a harsh world through innovation, cooperation, and determination. We offer these qualities as potential allies. Princess Vexora leaned forward with interest. You speak boldly for such a fragile-looking creature. I wonder what humans are truly capable of. Olivia met her gaze. Our history is filled with examples of human potential. We have overcome plagues, wars, and natural disasters. We have unified our planet and reached for the stars. We create art, music, and literature that express the full range of emotions and experiences. We seek knowledge and understanding above all else. The princess stood up, suddenly causing the guards to tense. I wish to speak with this human ambassador alone. Bring her to my private chambers after the formal reception. I find her words intriguing. The Emperor made a dismissive gesture. So be it. But remember the protocol for new species. They must be tested before any alliance can be considered. Olivia felt a chill at these words. The Zarthian tests were rumored to be brutal and often fatal, but she maintained her composed expression. We are prepared to demonstrate our worth through any reasonable means. The formal reception began with the presentation of gifts. The humans offered rare earth minerals, digital libraries of human knowledge, and samples of art and music. The Zarthians seemed particularly interested in human music, finding the emotional range fascinating. Olivia navigated the complex social dynamics of the alien court. She noticed Princess Vexora watching her closely. The princess seemed different from the others, less aggressive, more curious. This might be the opening Earth needed to forge a real connection with the powerful empire. When the reception ended, guards approached Olivia. The princess awaits you, human ambassador. Come alone. Olivia nodded to her team, who looked worried. This is what we came for. She reminded them a chance for real dialogue. Olivia studied the control device, the image of Earth, and the expectant faces of the Zarthian court. The obvious choices were to press the button, sacrificing Earth to save herself, or refuse and be executed for cowardice. Neither seemed like the right answer. She thought of Princess Vexora's words about looking beyond the obvious. She considered what she knew of the Zarthians, their respect for strength, their belief in conquest as security, and their apparent interest in human emotions and principles. With sudden clarity, Olivia understood this was not a test of obedience or fear. It was a test of character and values. She stepped forward and spoke clearly. I refuse to press the button. The throne room filled with angry murmurs from the Zarthian court. The Emperor leaned forward. You choose to be a coward. No, Olivia replied firmly. I choose to believe in trust and diplomacy over fear and threats. True courage is standing for principles, even facing death. My refusal shows our strength, not weakness. A truly advanced civilization builds alliances through respect, not terror. The room fell silent. Princess Vexora stared at Olivia with new interest. Olivia continued. I do not believe this device would actually harm Earth. That would be an act of war against a species you are considering as potential allies. That would be illogical. But even if the threat were real, I would rather die than betray my people and our principles. If you seek to know our character through this test, know this humans will not be controlled through fear. The Emperor studied her for a long moment, then unexpectedly laughed, a deep, rumbling sound. No species has ever refused the test in such a manner. Most beg for mercy or attack in futile rage. You show a different kind of strength, human. Perhaps your species has something to teach us after all. Princess Vexora stepped closer to Olivia. I told you she would be different, father. Her words contain wisdom. we should consider. The Emperor rose from his position, his massive frame towering over everyone. Very well, Ambassador. You have passed the first test. But there is another challenge before we can consider humans as potential allies. Olivia maintained her composure despite her relief at surviving. The first challenge, I am ready. The Emperor gestured and the holographic display changed, showing a star system with several planets, one of which was highlighted. This is the Zendari system. Their people refused our protection 50 cycles ago. Their technology has advanced since then, and they now pose a potential threat to our borders. Olivia studied the display carefully, waiting for the actual test. We plan to launch a preemptive strike against them. The Emperor continued. But perhaps there is another solution. Your species seems to value diplomacy. We will allow you to attempt negotiations with the Zendari. If you succeed in securing their cooperation without bloodshed, we will consider it proof that your diplomatic approach has merit. Olivia understood the real challenge. The Zarthians were testing whether human diplomatic skills could achieve what Zarthian military might had failed to secure. This was an opportunity to demonstrate the true value humans could bring to an alliance. Accept this challenge, Your Majesty, Olivia said. How much time do I have? 3 of your Earth days. The Emperor replied. We will provide transport to their homeworld and basic information about their culture and history. The rest is up to you. Olivia nodded. 3 days to prevent an interstellar war and prove humanity's worth to the most powerful empire in known space. No pressure. Princess Vexora approached as the court began to disperse. I will accompany you, she announced to Olivius. Surprise. Our historians should observe this diplomatic approach, and I wish to see human methods firsthand. The Emperor seemed surprised by his daughter's interest but nodded his approval. Very well. But you will observe only. Do not interfere with the human. Test 2 hours later, Olivia found herself aboard a small Zarthian vessel with Princess Vexora, and a minimal crew. Captain Laura Bell from the human ship had been permitted to join them as Olivia's assistant. The rest of the human delegation remained on the mothership, effectively hostages to ensure Olivia's good behavior, as they traveled through faster-than-light space toward the Zendari system. Vexora shared information about the species they would encounter. The Zendari were an insectoid race, with a complex hive structure. They communicated through a combination of sounds, pheromones, and body movements. Their society valued order, efficiency, and collective security above all else. They refused to join our empire 50 cycles ago because they believed we would disrupt their social structure. Vexora explained they fear outside influence, yet they continue to expand their territory and develop weapons. Laura studied the data on her tablet, so the Emperor sees them as a threat. But they might just be protecting themselves from what they see as Zarthian aggression. Exactly, Olivia said. This is as much about understanding their perspective as it is about negotiating an agreement. Vexora watched the 2 humans with interest. You speak of understanding their perspective. Why does this matter? If they pose a threat, they should be neutralized. Olivia turned to the princess. Threats often arise from fear or misunderstanding. By addressing the underlying concerns, we might transform a potential enemy into an ally. Destruction eliminates a threat temporarily but creates resentment that leads to new threats. Cooperation eliminates the source of the threat permanently. The princess considered this. Her silver eyes narrowed in thought. An interesting perspective. I have never heard any of our military advisors suggest such an approach, because military leaders are trained to see military solutions. Olivia explained, diplomats are trained to see diplomatic ones. Both have value in the right context as they approach Zendari space. Olivia prepared, carefully studying everything available about Zendari culture, history, and governance. She practiced the formal greeting gestures, worked with the translator to ensure proper communication, and developed a strategy for the negotiations. The Zendari detected their approach immediately. A harsh voice came through the communication system. Zarthian vessel, you are not authorized in our space. Depart immediately or face destruction. This is Ambassador Olivia Morgan of Earth. Olivia responded. We come on a diplomatic mission seeking peaceful dialogue between your people and both humans and Zarthians. There was a long pause. Then we have no knowledge of Earth or humans. The voice sounded confused but still hostile. We are a new species to galactic society, Olivia explained. We seek to establish peaceful relations with all intelligent life. We request permission to land and speak with your leaders. Another long pause. Then coordinates appeared on their navigation system. You may land one small vessel at these coordinates. Any weapons or signs of aggression will result in immediate termination. Princess Vexora looked concerned. This is unusual. They rarely allow any outsiders to land. Olivia smiled. Perhaps curiosity about a new species outweighs their caution about Zarthians. That gives us an opening. They took a small shuttle to the surface of the Zendari homeworld, a beautiful planet with vast forests of purple and blue, vegetation and sprawling geometric cities that resembled elaborate hives. The landing zone was surrounded by armed Zendari soldiers, their chitinous exoskeletons gleaming in the sunlight. Olivia exited the shuttle first with Laura beside her and Princess Vexora following at a distance as agreed. The Zendari representatives approached their movements precise and coordinated, like parts of a single organism. The lead Zendari, a larger individual with elaborate markings on its exoskeleton, clicked and hummed. The translator converted. Why do you bring a Zarthian to our world, human? This suggests deception. Olivia performed the formal greeting gesture she had practiced. I bring Princess Vexora as an observer to witness that humans seek peaceful cooperation between all species. We believe understanding can replace conflict. The guards led Olivia through winding corridors decorated with strange glowing symbols and artwork, depicting Zarthian victories. They arrived at an ornate door where two female guards stood at attention. These guards were different, wearing lighter armor but looking no less deadly. The door opened to reveal a spacious chamber unlike anything Olivia had expected instead of the harsh military aesthetic seen elsewhere. This room contained beautiful plants with strange glowing flowers, colorful fabrics draped from the ceiling and walls lined with what appeared to be books or knowledge storage devices. Princess Vexora stood by a large window that looked out into space. The view showed a nebula glowing with blues and purples casting soft light across her features. Enter human, the princess said without turning. You may sit. Olivia stepped into the room and chose a seat that put her at eye level with the princess when she sat down. Thank you for inviting me to speak privately. Your Highness. Vexora turned her silver eyes studying Olivia with intense curiosity. In all my years, I have never heard a representative from a new species speak as you did. Most arrive either arrogant or terrified. You showed neither yet spoke with conviction. Tell me about Earth. Olivia described her homeworld. The blue ocean's vast forests, diverse ecosystems, and the many cultures of humanity. She explained how humans had nearly destroyed themselves multiple times through war and environmental damage, but had learned from these mistakes to build a more unified, peaceful world. The princess listened with increasing interest, asking questions about human art, music, family structures, and governance. When Olivia mentioned human emotions and how they drove much of human achievement, Vexora leaned forward. You speak of these emotions as strength. Most species consider them weakness. Emotions give us passion, Olivia explained. They drive us to create, to explore, to connect. They can be destructive, yes, but they also inspire our greatest achievements. Our capacity to feel deeply is part of what makes us human. The princess moved to a cabinet and retrieved 2 glasses and a container of glowing blue liquid. She poured a small amount in each glass. This is safe for your biology. Our scientists studied your physiology thoroughly before your arrival. Olivia accepted the drink cautiously. I appreciate the consideration. Vexora sat across from her. Our empire has conquered 57 species across 12 star systems. Most submitted without question, seeing our technological superiority. Some fought and were destroyed. None have ever approached us as equals as you have done. Why do humans believe they deserve such respect? We believe all intelligent life deserves respect, Olivia replied. That belief is fundamental to our worldview, but we also know our worth. We have overcome challenges that would have destroyed many civilizations. Our adaptability, creativity, and determination have allowed us to survive and thrive. We don't claim superiority, only equality and the right to determine our own destiny. The princess took a long moment before speaking. There is a test all new species must pass before we consider any form of alliance. My father will administer it tomorrow. He expects you to fail as all others have. What is the nature of this test? Olivia asked, keeping her voice steady despite her concern. It varies, but always reveals the true nature of a species, Vexora replied. Many break under pressure, showing cowardice or mindless aggression. Some reveal deception or weakness, but all tests share one element. They force a choice that reveals character. Olivia nodded. I will face it honestly. That is all I can promise. The princess studied her with those reflective, silver eyes. For the first time, I find myself hoping a species might pass. Usually, I care little for the outcome. But humans, you are different somehow. I cannot determine if it is foolishness or genuine strength that makes you so. Perhaps the test will answer that question for both of us. Olivia suggested. After more conversation about human culture and Zarthian customs, the princess stood signaling the end of their meeting. Before Olivia left, Vexora offered an unexpected warning. My father believes conquest is the only path to security. I am not convinced. Prove tomorrow that there are other ways human. And know this. The test will not be what it seems. Look beyond the obvious choice. With those cryptic words echoing in her mind, Olivia was escorted back to her team's quarters where her fellow diplomats waited anxiously for details. She shared everything except the princess's warning, keeping that piece of information private. That night, while the others slept, Olivia stood at the viewport watching the stars. Her communication device beeped with an encrypted message from Earth Command, demanding updates on the Zarthian intentions and military capabilities. Olivia frowned. The military's obsession with gathering intelligence could jeopardize everything. She sent back a brief message. Diplomatic progress promising test tomorrow will determine outcome. No intelligence gathering during critical negotiation phase. She knew this would anger some officials back home, but maintaining trust was more important than gathering military secrets. If humans were to have any chance at peaceful relations with this powerful species, they needed to act with integrity. The next morning, Olivia prepared herself mentally for whatever challenge awaited. She wore her formal diplomatic uniform with the Earth insignia prominently displayed. She would face this test as a representative of all humanity. The guards arrived earlier than expected. Their demeanor seemed more serious than before. We come for the human. Ambassador, the Emperor awaits. Olivia followed them through the massive ship to a chamber she had not seen before. Unlike the ornate throne room, this space was austere. Almost like a laboratory, in the center stood a simple platform with what appeared to be a control console. Emperor Zarth weighted his massive form, somehow more intimidating in this smaller space. Princess Vexora stood to one side, her expression unreadable. Several other high-ranking Zarthians formed a semicircle around the platform. The human comes to be tested, the Emperor announced, his deep voice filling the chamber. Step forward, Ambassador. Olivia walked to the platform with measured steps, keeping her posture straight and her gaze steady. The test begins now, little human. The Emperor rumbled. Let us see if your species deserves respect or servitude. A holographic display activated, showing Earth vulnerable, beautiful, and blue guards brought forward a control device. The Emperor smiled, showing sharp teeth. If you press this button, your homeworld dies. If you refuse, I will know humans are cowards unworthy of existence. You have 1 minute to decide. Olivia felt cold fear spread through her body but kept her face calm. She looked at the device, then at the image of Earth, then at the Emperor, and finally at Princess Vexora, whose expression had become intensely focused. Remember the princess's words. Look beyond the obvious choice. This was not just a test of courage or loyalty, it was a test of wisdom. The Zendari leader studied Olivia with compound eyes that shimmered with iridescent colors. Your words are interesting, but words mean little, actions reveal truth. You will be tested before any dialogue can begin. Olivia nodded, understanding that. Tests seem to be a common theme among advanced species. We accept your terms. The Zendari escorted them into a massive structure that combined elements of a cathedral and a beehive. The interior walls pulsed with bioluminescent patterns that seemed to communicate information. The air was thick with scents that made Olivia's translator device beep with warnings about pheromone communications it couldn't fully decode. They were brought to a chamber where 7 Zendari waited in a semicircle. Each wore different markings indicating their roles in the hive society. The center figure raised its front appendages. We are the consensus. The voice came through the translator. You claim to seek peace, yet you arrive with our enemy. How can we trust? Such contradictory signals. Olivia stepped forward. Princess Vexora is here to observe how humans approach diplomacy. We believe that witnessing successful, peaceful negotiation may help the Zarthians see alternatives to conflict. The consensus members vibrated their wings, creating a sound that the translator identified as skeptical laughter. The Zarthians understand only dominance. For 50 cycles they have threatened our borders, demanded our resources, and insulted our ways. Princess Vexora moved forward. Despite the agreement to remain in the background, these accusations are false. Your expansion threatens our security. Your refusal to trade fairly limits resources for both our peoples. Olivia raised her hand, gently signaling Vexora to stop. Your Highness, with respect, I ask that you observe as agreed. To Olivia's surprise, the princess actually stepped back, though her silver eyes flashed with anger, turning back to the Zendari. Olivia spoke carefully. Both sides clearly have grievances and concerns. This is exactly why dialogue is essential. No one benefits from misunderstanding or conflict. The lead consensus member clicked rapidly. What do humans propose? Olivia took a deep breath. Here came the crucial moment. I propose 3 things. First, a mutual non-aggression pact defining clear borders and establishing buffer zones. Second, regular diplomatic meetings to address concerns before they become conflicts. Third, mutually beneficial trade agreements focusing on resources. Each species has in abundance. The consensus conferred through a series of rapid clicks and wing vibrations that the translator couldn't process. Then the leader spoke. You offer words on flimsy membranes, what humans call paper. We require proof of sincerity. What proof would satisfy you? Olivia asked. The test is simple. The Zendari leader pointed to a device in the center of the room. Our scientists have studied your biology. This device will connect to your nervous system, allowing us to detect deception. If you answer our questions truthfully, we will consider your proposals. If you lie even once, negotiations end. Laura stepped forward. Ambassador, this is dangerous. We have no way to verify what this device actually does. Olivia considered her options. The Zendari clearly required a demonstration of trust, yet the risk was substantial. The device could be harmless, or it could cause pain or even death, but refusing would confirm their suspicions about humans. I accept. Olivia said, moving toward the device. Princess Vexora made a surprised sound. This is foolish, human. The device could kill you. Perhaps, Olivia replied, but sometimes trust requires risk. The Zendari attached the device to Olivia's temples and wrists. Immediately she felt a strange tingling sensation and a presence at the edges of her consciousness. The lead consensus member began asking questions. Do humans truly seek peace with all species? Yes. Olivia answered. We believe cooperation benefits everyone while conflict harms all involved. The device hummed softly. Would humans ally with Zarthians against Zendari? We seek alliance with both, not with one against the other. Olivia replied. We believe in multilateral cooperation. The questions continued, becoming increasingly complex and nuanced, exploring human ethics, governance systems, and diplomatic philosophy. Throughout, Olivia maintained her composure, answering honestly, even when the truth was complicated. After what seemed like hours, the Zendari removed the device the consensus conferred once More you speak truth, human. The leader finally declared. This is unexpected. We have never encountered a species that values truth in diplomacy above advantage. We will consider your proposals. Princess Vexora had watched the entire process with increasing fascination. Now she spoke. You subjected yourself to potential harm to demonstrate sincerity. Why take such risk? Because trust must begin somewhere. Olivia said, sometimes the greatest strength is shown through vulnerability, not force. The Zendari leader clicked rapidly. The human speaks wisdom that both our peoples would benefit from hearing. We will adjourn to consider her proposals. Return tomorrow for our response. As they left the hive structure, Princess Vexora walked beside Olivia, her usual imperial demeanor softened by confusion. I have witnessed many diplomatic exchanges, but never one like this. You offered yourself to their mercy, a position of weakness, yet somehow you appeared stronger for it. That's because true strength isn't about domination. Olivia explained. It's about connection, understanding, finding solutions where everyone benefits. In human history, our greatest achievements came not from conquering others, but from working together, back on their shuttle. Laura checked Olivia for any lasting effects from the Zendari device. That was incredibly risky, she admonished. What if it had been designed to extract information, or worse? It was a calculated risk, Olivia said. Sometimes you have to demonstrate trust to receive. Princess Vexora watched their interaction with interest. Your species confuses me, she admitted. Individually, you are physically weak, yet you show courage that would impress our greatest warriors. You speak of peace, yet take risks that could mean death. How do these contradictions exist together? These aren't contradictions. Olivia smiled. They're the essence of humanity. We're complex, adaptable, and always evolving. We contain contradictions because life itself is contradictory. That night, as they waited for the Zendari response, Olivia and Vexora continued their conversation. The princess had begun asking increasingly personal questions about human emotions, relationships, and beliefs. What gives your life meaning? Human Vexora asked as they looked out at the alien star's connection with others. She replied without hesitation. The relationships we build, the positive impact we have on others, the knowledge that we've helped create a better future, these give human life purpose. The princess was silent for a long moment. In the Zarthian Empire, meaning comes through conquest, achievement, power. Our history celebrates those who expanded our reach. Those who sought peace are forgotten, and yet you seem interested in a different path, Olivia observed. Perhaps, Vexora admitted. For the first time, I question whether our way is the only way of strength. The next morning, they returned to the Zendari hive where the consensus awaited them. The atmosphere seemed different, less hostile, more open. We have deliberated the lead, Zendari announced. The human proposal has merit but requires adjustment. We accept the non-aggression pact with clearly defined borders. We accept regular diplomatic meetings. We will establish limited trade, focusing first on knowledge exchange rather than resources. This is acceptable. Olivia agreed. Princess Vexora stepped forward. The Zarthian Empire requires security guarantees against Zendari expansion. The Zendari leader turned its compound eyes toward her. The non-aggression pact provides this. Both sides must respect boundaries. Will you honor this agreement without the need for Zarthian oversight? Vexora pressed. Olivia tensed, sensing the princess testing the limits. The Zendari vibrated with what might have been indignation. We honor our agreements, does the Zarthian Empire. Vexora surprised everyone by bowing her head slightly. My father the Emperor will honor any agreement I endorse, I give my word. The Zendari consensus conferred briefly. The princess's word is accepted. We will proceed with the agreement. Olivia felt a wave of relief. This wasn't just a diplomatic victory for Earth. It represented a fundamental shift in relations between two powerful species that had been on the brink of war. Documents were prepared using materials from all three worlds: Earth paper, Zarthian crystal tablets, and Zendari biofilm. Each version contained identical terms, but in forms meaningful to each species. As they completed the signing ceremony, the lead Zendari turned to Olivia. Human diplomacy has prevented bloodshed today. The consensus acknowledges your contribution to galactic peace. Princess Vexora added her own observation. Ambassador Morgan has demonstrated that alternatives to conquest exist. This lesson will not be forgotten. On the return journey to the Zarthian mothership, Vexora spent hours in conversation with Olivia. The princess had begun to see possibilities beyond the Empire's traditional approach to other species. I have watched 12 species fall to our weapons, Vexora said. Many were as advanced as the Zendari, yet none found the path you discovered. Perhaps they weren't given the chance to try diplomacy, Olivia suggested, or perhaps human experiences with our own wars and conflicts taught us to seek alternatives. Your empire has always been strong, but Earth learned painful lessons through weakness. Vexora considered this. For generations, our strength has been our pride, but strength alone creates fear, not allies. This diplomatic approach provides security without creating new enemies. It is efficient, I must admit. Olivia smiled, hearing the princess begin to frame peace in terms of efficiency and security. This was how change would begin, not through complete transformation, but through reframing existing values. When they returned to the mothership, Emperor Zarth awaited them, surrounded by his advisors. His expression was unreadable as Vexora presented the signed agreements and described the diplomatic process. You prevented a costly military campaign, the Emperor acknowledged after reviewing the terms. These Zendari concessions are significant. What magic did you work? Human, not magic. Your Majesty, just understanding, Olivia replied. By listening to their concerns, acknowledging their perspective, and finding solutions that benefited both sides, we created trust where there was fear. The Emperor studied her. The test has yielded unexpected results. Did not believe peaceful resolution was possible with the Zendari. Yet you achieved in 3 days what our emissaries failed to accomplish in 50 cycles. Princess Vexora stepped forward. Father, I request that the human ambassador be granted special status in our court. Her methods deserve further study. I believe they could benefit the Empire in many ways. The request surprised both Olivia and the Emperor. After a moment of consideration, Zarth nodded. So be it. The human may remain as a diplomatic advisor. The alliance with Earth will be formalized. Olivia bowed respectfully. Thank you, Your Majesty. I look forward to building a lasting relationship between our peoples. That evening, a formal celebration was held to commemorate the new alliance. The great hall of the mothership was filled with Zarthian nobles, warriors, and now for the first time representatives from other species, including a small delegation of Zendari. The atmosphere was cautiously optimistic as ancient enemies began tentative conversations. Princess Vexora approached Olivia away from the other guests. Your courage today has changed how I see humans. She admitted, I have only known conquest and submission. Yet you stood before the most powerful beings in the known galaxy and spoke of principles and cooperation without fear. Olivia smiled. These are the qualities that define humanity at our best. We build, we create, we connect. We survived our own violent history by learning to work together. The princess hesitated, then spoke in a lower voice. When my father steps down, I will lead the Empire. I would have you remain as an advisor to help forge a new path. Olivia was stunned by the offer. Your Highness, I am honored, but my first duty is to Earth. Vexora nodded. Of course. But perhaps your duty to Earth is best served by helping shape a more peaceful galaxy. You have shown me possibilities I never considered. I would learn from your wisdom. Before Olivia could respond, Captain Laura approached with an urgent message. Earth Command had received word of their success and was requesting Olivia's immediate return to begin establishing formal diplomatic protocols with both the Zarthians and Zendari over the next several weeks. Olivia traveled between Earth, the Zarthian mothership, and the Zendari homeworld, helping establish the foundations for a new interstellar alliance. Word spread quickly throughout the galaxy about the small human female who had stood up to Emperor Zarth and won respect rather than conquest. Other species began to look to humanity with new hope. Earth itself was transformed by the alliance. Knowledge flowed freely between worlds. Technologies advanced, medicines improved, and cultural exchanges flourished. Humans discovered they had much to offer even to species far more technologically advanced. Their creativity, adaptability, and diplomatic skills were valued throughout known space. 6 months after the initial contact, Olivia stood on the observation deck of the newly constructed Earth Embassy on the Zarthian homeworld. Princess Vexora joined her, looking out at the spectacular cityscape below. "I have been studying human history," Vexora said. "Your species nearly destroyed itself multiple times, yet always found a way back from the brink." "How? By learning from our mistakes," Olivia replied. "By recognizing that cooperation works better than conflict, that diverse perspectives make us stronger, not weaker, that compassion isn't weakness, but wisdom." The princess nodded. "I have begun implementing changes in our educational systems, teaching young Zarthians alternatives to conquest. Some of the old guard resist, but many see the benefits. Our resources, once directed toward military expansion, now fund scientific discovery and quality of life improvements. The Zarthian Empire is evolving," Olivia observed, "and becoming stronger for it." Vexora turned to face her. "Indeed, and it began with your courage. Standing alone before the Emperor, refusing the test as all others had taken it. I still do not fully understand where such courage comes from." Olivia thought for a moment, then answered, "From hope, the belief that a better future is possible if we are willing to work for it. Human history is full of individuals who stood against seemingly impossible odds because they hoped for something better." "Hope," the princess repeated. The concept still seemed foreign to her. "Yet I begin to understand its power." 1 year after the first contact between humans and Zarthians, a grand council was convened. Representatives from 27 species gathered on a neutral world to establish the foundation for ongoing cooperation. The Galactic Concordat, as it came to be known, established principles of sovereignty, non-aggression, trade, and cultural exchange. Emperor Zarth himself attended, acknowledging the changing nature of the galaxy. "For too long the strong have dominated the weak," he announced in his opening address, "but true strength lies in unity, not division." The human ambassador. "Morgan has shown us a new path, one where strength comes in many forms." As Olivia prepared to deliver Earth's address to the assembled delegates, Princess Vexora, now the official Zarthian representative to the Concordat, presented her with a royal Zarthian medallion. "You have shown us a new path, one where strength comes in many forms. Tell your people they have earned a place among the stars, not as servants, but as equals." Olivia accepted the medallion with a bow. Then she stepped forward to address the gathered representatives. "The path that brought us here today was not easy," she began. "It required courage from all of us. The courage to question traditional ways of thinking. The courage to trust when experience counseled fear. The courage to believe in a better future. Throughout the galaxy, species that had lived in fear now looked to the stars with hope. The humans had shown that even the mighty Zarthians could change, that diplomacy could succeed where force had failed, that principles and integrity could overcome even the most formidable challenges." And as Olivia concluded her address, the delegates rose as one in a gesture of unity that transcended their biological and cultural differences. "Today, we begin a new chapter in galactic history," Olivia declared, "not as conquerors and conquered, not as predators and prey, but as equals united in our diversity, committed to peace, and dedicated to a future where all may thrive." The applause echoed throughout the chamber and across the stars, marking the beginning of a new era, an era shaped by human courage, compassion, and hope.